Hey y'all, welcome back to the garage, welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about.
Last week's episode, when I went over the wood burning stove that I built, you may have saw a couple of these things sitting around the garage. For instance, this truck bed back here. And this is the truck it belongs to. Now the truck bed came in because out here in West Texas, we got those tumbleweeds that sometimes make their way out to the roadway, and it caught one right about this area right here, put a couple of dents, a couple of long scrapes. We took care of those dents, took care of those long scrapes. We painted the whole bedside yesterday. I'm gonna say afternoon. By about 5 o'clock, I came out with some 1500 grit. I wet sanded it all down, and there's a couple of reasons that I did that. Now back over at the truck, and the first reason that we wet sanded that bedside all down is if you look at the side of this, one is the customer takes fantastic care of this truck. There has been a lot of buffing on this door. It is mirror finish clean, but if you look at the fenders, you'll notice there's a whole different texture to that paint. So your door here is glass smooth. Over here, you have an orange peel texture. In our best attempt to match the finish that's on the truck, very first thing I did was break this down with some 1500 grit to get rid of any of that orange peel texture that's in there. Secondly, it opens the paint back up, it helps it dry and cure a little bit faster. And then third, as you can see, all of your imperfections. Let's just see if we can find one. Yep, matter of fact, there is one right there, and there's one right there. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna break those down with a little bit of 2000 grit. When I'm getting ready to do some wet sanding, is I throw my wet sanding paper in a bucket, and I let it soak in here for good 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It gets really pliable, and the reason I do that is you don't get any sharp edges. I like to dig in. Now, take care of these couple of spots on this paint here. It'd take a little bit of 2000 grit. I'm going to use a medium to soft hardness block. Going to wrap our wet sanding paper in it, and very lightly I like to start with a back and forth motion. That'll one just start to cut it right off, and then to finish up I like to do a circular motion because it just blends it into the surrounding surface. And lastly, using a lint-free towel to check your work to see if you've gotten that out of there. Just give it a good wipe. And what I like to put on here is typically something that's got a lot of alcohol in it, so that it cleans your surface, or something with a lot of ammonia because it doesn't leave any staining. And if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, let me show you what I'm talking about. That's it, glass cleaner. You take a little air blower, and we've gotten one of the two of them out of there. Let's finish up this last one. And just like that, your blemish in the paint is gone. Now when you go to polish that, it's going to polish out nice and easy. It's going to give you a mirror finish. So that's what we're doing on this truck bed. Well, then the customer brought the truck to us because over here on the back of the cab is another little dent. So we're going to get this dent all pulled out of here. And the initial intent was to paint this entire B pillar all the way around to the A pillar down to here. Well, customer called back after dropping off the truck and said, you know what, just paint the whole truck. So that's what we're doing. We're painting the whole truck. If you've been tuning in for any length of time, or if you happen to know me, you know my favorite color in the world to paint is jet black. And this truck is black. As a matter of fact, you may have seen this truck around in some of the other videos. Or maybe if you happen to tune in to Texas Stock Rally, this truck joined us on the West Texas Rally. Happens to be a favorite of mine. I don't know a whole lot of details about it, but I can tell you it's got a very nicely installed turbo. There is a snow performance methanol injection system on it. The rear of the chassis has been C-notched. Running some Caltrac suspension on it. On some factory wheels, some sticky Mickey Thompsons on here. On the inside of this, we have the Innovate Engineering, so he can keep an eye on his AFRs, very important. And I believe that is the controller to the snow performance methanol injection. And other than that, this interior is left bone stock. One of the things I really like about this. So that's a quick tour, and I am going to get back to work on this bed since we are painting the whole thing now. Tune in a little bit later on this week. I will show you how we're going to take care of the little bit of rock chips and scrapes and damage and things like that on here to get it prepped up. If you guys were tuning in for the Ford project, there's a couple of changes that are going to be made on that. And now that one's going to sit off to the back for a second while we get this finished up. I said, I'm going to get myself back to work on this project over here. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and we will see y'all later on this week.